Here I have a numerical sequence where I'm checking to see what the function is, or what the relationship is between the spot in the pattern and the number that is actually in the pattern itself. So what I'm supposed to do is create a function table. So here's a function table. This n refers to what spot are these numbers in. The 3 is in the first spot because it's the first number in the sequence. The 9 is in the third spot, the 12th in the fourth, and so on. So the number of the spot, so this guy's in spot 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4, this is 5, and so on. What I'm looking at is what is the relationship between this being first and the number in the pattern being 3. What is the relationship between this being second and the number in the pattern being 6? 3 is 9, 4 is 12, and 5 is 15. How do these spot positions relate to the number in the actual sequence? So here's my chart. My n refers to what spot is it in, so these are all my n's. And my y's are what answer are they in the sequence, so this is my y's. So what I'm going to do is just fill in my chart. So spot number 1 gives me a 3. Spot number 2 gives me a 6. Spot number 3, spot number 4, and spot number 5. So next thing I do, this is my work section, or what do I do to n to make it equal a y. So what I'm going to do is look at how do I turn a 1 into a 3. Well, I could add 2. 1 plus 2 is 3. But let's check and see if that pattern continues. 2 plus 2 doesn't give me 6. So that I can't just add 2 to n to create whatever numbers over here. So I'm going to look at what else I could do. 1 times 3 is 3, and 2 times 3 does give me 6. So my function, or the relationship, is you take n and you multiply it times 3. So 1 times 3, 2 times 3, 3 times 3, 4 times 3, and 5 times 3 gives me these answers here. So the next thing I do is I take the work and set it equal to the answer. So y is equal to this. So the function relationship here then is y equals 3 times the number the spot is in, or y equals 3n. So 3 would be equal to 3 times 1, because that's spot number 1. 6 would be equal to 3 times 2, because it's in spot number 2. This is the function, or the relationship, of the number sequence. Here's another one where I have a bunch of negatives. And it's the same process again. The negative 2 is in spot number 1. The negative 4 is in 2, 3, 4, 5, so on. So again, I have my chart. This just helps me keep organized so I can really see very clearly what the relationship or the function is. So all the guys in spot number 1, so spot 1, spot 2, spot 3, spot 4, and 5. And the y is the answer. The n refers to the positions. The y refers to what I actually have in the sequence. So negative 2, negative 4, negative 6, negative 8, and negative 10. The middle section is what I do to n to create the answer in the sequence. So to get a negative 2, I could say 1 minus 3 is negative 2, but 2 minus 3 is not negative 4. So the pattern cannot be subtracting. So instead I'm going to look at other things I can do to create these numbers. Well, I do know that 1 times 2 is 2, but this is a negative 2. So it must be 1 times negative 2 is negative 2. 2 times negative 2 is negative 4. So the function, or the relationship, is you take the spot and you multiply it times negative 2 to answer the number in the sequence. So 1 times negative 2 gives me negative 2. 2 times negative 2 gives me negative 4. 3 times negative 2 gives me negative 6. 4 times negative 2 gives me negative 8. And 5 times negative 2 gives me negative 10. So again, the y, the answer in the pattern, is equal to the relationship. So the answer is equal to taking -2 times the position it's in. So if I was looking for -2, -2 is equal to -2 times 1. If I was looking for the 4, -4 is equal to -2 times 2, so on and so forth. This is the function or the relationship between the position and the actual numbers in the sequence.